Hey everybody, welcome to the Great Ninja Podcast. I am one of your hosts, DC. Joining me again is Takoda. What's up, Takoda?
Not much, that time again already to do another episode. So just wanted to say thanks for everybody for joining us for our second episode.
Second episode of the Great Ninja Podcast. I would say actually our first episode was pretty successful. I had a lot of feedback on it, so it was good that people are actually listening. But yeah, what you're saying about already upon us, like it felt like this season kind of flew by. And we've been trying to get this done for like 3 weeks. We just haven't been able to. So
Yeah. The original date we were going to do it was like 3 weeks ago. So I sat down here a minute ago and I thought, has it been 3 months already since we did this already?
pretty wild.
And yeah, it's flown by.
So general structure of this episode is we're going to go over the winter 2023, the end of it. That's what just ended. And then we'll be covering spring 2024. Some of it's already started, so we'll talk about that a bit and what we look forward to, because there's actually a lot. It's kind of weird how it's broken up this season. There's like some late starts to some anime for the
Yeah,
spring.
it's usually stuff starts within the same like 3 week period. And we've had stuff starting from it's like a 5 week window.
Yeah, pretty weird.
It goes into 3 months, the very end of 1 month, a whole month, and the beginning of the next month.
I don't remember a season being like this, or at least with the heavy hitters being like that.
I think it's just become more popular. Whereas now, when the season starts, it's not just there's 2 or 3 shows people are looking forward to. There's 30 or 40 shows people are looking forward to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
everyone has their thing for sure. Like everyone's got their own lane they can be in for sure.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, we've got the Suicide Squad anime. Even what is that in the summer?
I don't even know if it has a date yet. Does it have a date?
I'm not sure, but
I'm pretty sure it's currently still just summer 2024.
yeah, it's bleeding into other mediums too. I love to see it.
Mm.
But something I wanted to
Hmm.
mention actually, I was at Barnes and Noble the other day, and one of probably the heavy hitter this past season was Solo Leveling, and
Uh-huh.
it made me think. And like, so when I go to the manga section at Barnes and Noble or like any bookstore, manhwa seems to be really setting the world on fire right now. All the webtoons and stuff that are being printed, I see them everywhere now.
Yeah, so with the manhwa and the manha, I think one of the big heavy hitter things of it is that they're colored
Mm-hmm.
and you read left to right, so it's easier for somebody to pick up and just flip through it.
Oh yeah.
Unlike, manga, you pick up Attack on Titan, it's black and white for one. The art is not necessarily going to be as good, and then you also have to read right to left.
Yep.
And people are just that's unappealing to a lot of people. You pick up a manhwa like Soul Leveling, it's a heavy book for one. Every issue of Soul Leveling is like 5 volumes of manga. It's so heavy.
Yep. Big
It's colored.
pages.
You read left to right. Yeah, you read left to right. Big pages, crisp art. It's all been finally touched over. I mean, it looks really good.
Yep. It's wild to see though. Like, seems like Korean products in general are just kind of bleeding over into the popularity these days.
Well, I think the manhwa specifically from Korea is just right now it's a genre. It's a lot of tower anime.
Right.
Like Solo Leveling is a tower anime. It's just constantly leveling up, up, up.
Yep.
That's very popular. And then even in China, like what's I feel like that manhwa is called or the manhwa it's like Apothecary Diary, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. I mean, just that genre, like it's not slice of life. It's more like kind of like a romance
I got you.
slash sci-fi. That's very popular in China.
Oh, okay. Good to know. I
Um,
actually didn't know that.
but you can usually tell like what the manhwa is because they all have very, very detailed, elaborate covers.
Mm, okay.
And like next time we go to Barnes and Noble or Books a Million, I'll show you
Okay.
what I'm talking about. But I mean, even though even that, there's only a few, you know, manhwa that I read. Solo Leveling being one. There was another one called Terror Man that I got volume one of. I didn't really like it, and I didn't even finish the first volume actually.
Really? That's not
Yeah,
great.
it's like this kid that can sense when terrorists are going to attack or natural disasters are going to happen. Oh, sorry, I said that backwards. So he can sense when natural disasters are going to happen. He starts to do these terrorist attacks. Like he knows because like in like China, shopping malls are like 30 stories tall, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just not super wide. He knows there's going to be an earthquake that's going to collapse and kill everybody in the building. So what's he do? He gets an assault rifle, starts walking through like the main floor, shooting at people. He doesn't kill anybody, but he does a fake terrorist attack
To get
to
people
make
out.
everyone evacuate the
Gotcha.
building. Yeah. So,
Wait, is
but he
this the
wears it.
one that Garnt, what's his name? I can't think of his one name, but he goes by Garnt. It's the trash taste guy. Is this the one he was talking about on his channel the other day? I think it might be.
Uh, maybe it's by Jin Ho Ko.
Okay.
Um, it's the only thing of that guy I know of, but I just couldn't get into it. He wears this cape. He just was, and the main character's like 13, 14 years old.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I didn't even finish the first volume.
Huh. Well,
But solo leveling, yeah, solo leveling.
yeah, solo leveling. I can't find issue 5 anywhere. I'm stuck because I can't find it. I really want
Check
to
Amazon.
continue that. Yeah, I could just order it from Barnes and Noble, but it's just it's fun just going to the store and picking it up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually, I told her last night we went to Barnes and Noble, and she said, "Is there anything you're looking for?" And I said, "Right now, like manga and stuff like that has become so popular that when you go to look at the manga section, you're not really seeing like you're not really there looking for something. You're just seeing what you might find because everything's always out of stock now.
Yep.
Everybody's, you can't find a number one for anything that's popular.
No, you can't.
Um, everything's on back order. I'm like, so I don't really go to the store with the anticipation of looking for something I need. I just see what I find while I'm there.
Yep. It's like an Easter egg
You
hunt,
know,
adult Easter egg
yeah.
hunt.
If it's something I really want, I just go ahead and order it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to order it
Crunchyroll.
because I want to keep reading it. But you want to talk about speaking of solo leveling and how good it is, let's talk about Winter 2023. The
Yeah,
second half, I
yeah,
guess you would call it, of Winter 2023.
yeah,
Um, well, so I think far and away the most popular anime during that was Frieren, but it was continuation from the prior season.
yeah. It was like 28 episodes.
Yeah, I'm still like 3 episodes away from two, I think, episodes away from
Oh,
finishing it.
dude, Frieren is so good.
I love it.
I'm current on the manga, and it just stays so wholesome, and the fight sequences are great. The art is great. I honestly believe that Frieren will dethrone Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as like the overall general number one anime.
It's definitely possible. It's definitely
It,
possible.
it's it's rated higher on my anime list right now.
Right?
It's dethroned it already on there, but I mean like in every sense of the matter of every poll or vote that's ever been done, Full Metal Alchemist has been voted number one anime.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Freerun can dethrone that.
I think it can, especially if season 2 continues to hit as hard as season 1 hit, which I know it got already picked up for season 2. Do we have a date on that yet? I don't remember
No,
seeing it.
no. It'll
Yeah.
be. I don't think it'll be this year,
I don't think it will be either, which sucks because like man, it does such a good job world building. You know, like you just want to live in that world like all the time.
dude. You got to read the manga. The manga's so good.
I'm probably going to have to.
The manga's great. Volume 10 just dropped a few. Well, it's been like a month now.
And then the
But
next most popular, I think, was definitely Solo Leveling.
I think Solo Leveling was more popular for just anime only watchers. People that read the manga and watch shows, Free Run was probably higher up. But for people that just occasionally flip on Crunchyroll and watch anime, Solo Leveling had the fights. It's got a good story. Solo Leveling was a great anime.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know how much we want to get into spoilers, but the one scene when Igris rise,
Mhm.
that when that got animated, I was like, okay, because that to me that was the turning point in the manhwa. Whenever there's like a a hard switch in the manhwa whenever that happens, where it's like he becomes like he realizes what he is, like what he can be,
Yeah,
and
once he gets his role.
yeah, and it's just he becomes the ultimate badass. And seeing that animated was so surreal, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Trying to think what else I watched. There's Shangri-La Frontier.
Yep. Man, talk about beautiful animation.
Uh
The
huh. Such
the
a banger.
oh, the fight with Weathermon, the Tomb Guard, was some of the best
Mm-hmm.
animation I've ever seen. Period.
Uh huh. So I actually had a problem with the anime, and not because of the anime. It's because I'm current with the manga, and
Okay.
the anime follows so closely to the manga that I was watching the show and I'm just thinking I already know what happens. Like this is boring me because I know what's coming up. I know the story, and I mean the art is so spot on for the manga too.
Right.
That I mean, obviously it had obviously the fight sequence with Weathermon, like you said, was great, but just like a lot of the him running around and fighting the Diamond Scorpions,
Yeah.
I was like, I find myself kind of bored because I already knew what happened for the next 6 episodes after this. But
I mean, to be honest, like I kind of felt the same way. Like even though I haven't read the manga, I thought it was I thought it got a little lackluster towards the end of the season. After the Weathermon fight, it was just kind of like, well, like how can you get better than that? And then he goes on these side quests trying to get those legendary weapons or whatever.
yeah, I thought the Weathermon fight was going to be the end of the season,
I
and then
did
it
too.
got like 4 more episodes after Weathermon.
Yeah, it felt weird. Felt like a weird place to end. Like,
Yeah, and I mean that was long too. That was what it was like 24, 26 episodes, right?
28, I want to say. I think Free Run's the same. I think they were both 28
Yeah,
episodes.
Free Run was definitely 28.
Yeah.
Solo Leveling was 12, right?
Yeah, Solo Leveling was
But
just 12. Actually, I can
but
check
they're
real quick on
but they're counting that as a half season, aren't they?
yeah.
Like that's the first half. Because, I've told people this recently. Like it's easier now to binge newer manga or new anime because long gone are the days where the show just has 72 episodes per season.
Yeah, it's way
You
we're
know,
well past
it
that.
doesn't air. It doesn't air for 13 months straight.
Right.
It's, seasons are 12 to 18 episodes, 28 on a long season.
Sorry, Shangri-La Frontier was 25 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I gotta say, to me, this season was a little lackluster. Other than the two continuing, which we just talked about, Freerin, which was amazing, Shangri-La Frontier, which was great, and then Solo Leveling, which was also amazing. I found myself disinterested with almost every other thing that I watched. I call this the season of dropped anime because I found a lot of them interesting and I dropped them. Didn't care about them anymore.
You mean last winter?
Yeah, yeah, winter. Yep.
So there were a few that I wouldn't say dropped because I will finish them, like Metallic Rouge.
I probably won't
Metallic
ever
Rouge
finish
started
it.
it started out really good
It did.
first couple episodes, but it got to the point around like episode 7 or 8 where I don't know what the character is even doing anymore. What is the goal of the show?
I don't either. Yeah, animation's really cool. I mean, it's from Bones and it's an original. It's like their anniversary, their studio's anniversary, and that's they wanted to do all that. But yeah, I lost interest. I think I got like 9 episodes in. I just can't do it. I can't finish it.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I think was the biggest fumble?
Yeah, sure.
Ninja Kamui.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, dude, it started out so good. I was like, this is going to put Toonami back on the fucking map. And then they started introducing all these mech suits and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's got this special ability only he knows. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
here's a suit that can replicate it. And I get that the moral of the show is that the ninjas have disbanded because they use these mech suits and don't follow the old way anymore.
Right.
But it just became so boring once they were just all wearing fucking mech suits now.
Yeah. Everyone's invincible. Everyone's
Yeah.
super
I mean,
powered.
one of the main bad guys isn't a fucking like hover round.
Yeah.
And he just gets in a mech suit and he's the baddest fucking ninja in the mech suit.
So I actually am only 1 episode behind on that, and the only reason I don't even like I just throw it on kind of in the background because it's only you can't watch it in Japanese in the States. It's only in English because it's a Toonami
Yeah.
exclusive. But apparently it is, it was airing in Japan as well. Um, but there's no dub for it, or there's no sub for it in America because of Toonami.
Yeah.
Um, and the animation is top fucking notch. I mean, it is incredibly
It's
animated.
great animation.
Yeah.
The voice acting was kind of funky.
The voice acting, I hate it so much. It's some of the worst voice acting I've ever heard.
Well, I don't think the voice acting itself is bad. I think it's the writing.
Well,
The lines are kind of bad.
fair enough. Yeah.
Where he's like, "Why don't you retire and get you a bottle of whiskey? I much prefer sake these days."
Yeah.
Dude's like a fucking detective in California,
Uh-huh.
or what do you like? How is
New
this guy
York
supposed to
or
know
whatever.
randomly?
Yeah.
Yeah, how is he supposed to know randomly you just prefer sake to whiskey? Who the fuck even says
And
that?
the main character like tries to be John Wick-esque, but he just comes off as like completely flat. Like it's boring, dull, like his
Well,
voice
after
is.
like the first episode, it was like, his wife and son got killed. After that, it's just been like there's nothing to be attached to.
I know.
He's just trying to kill fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, I guess the one chick that like I guess they had sort of like a love triangle, like she loved his wife. I don't really understand what was going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he has no real connection to her. I mean, so I don't know. I will probably finish it just because I like the animation and I can just throw it on in the background.
It's
Uh,
only got what, one more episode?
I think it's one more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll finish it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it'll blow my socks off.
Something I liked the last season, so the one fall that continued was Undead Unluck, and I got completely disinterested with that as well. It hit a point where they were like teaming up, and like it felt like they're just like there's an end game to get to, and I don't see how this is helping them achieve the end game. And it's just like, why do I care about these stupid side quests?
Yeah, Undead Unluck. I never started the show because I didn't like the manga,
Okay,
and I just knew I wasn't gonna give a shit.
fair enough. Let's see, what else did I drop? Buchigiri, I dropped it. I got like 4 or 5 episodes into that, and I expected a lot of big things from that because Mappa picked it up, so I thought it would be really good. And like the animation's cool for sure, but it's just another silly delinquent anime. I thought there would be like more fighting, and I don't know. It's silly, and like maybe I'll finish it someday, but I dropped that too.
Yeah,
And then I also dropped Marshall. I dropped it.
I finished Marshall. Marshall was okay.
This season was not nearly as good as last season.
No, the intro song was good.
It was, yeah.
Brum, bum, bum, brum, bum, bum, brum, bum, bum, brum.
Wasn't it like tops of the charts too globally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the funny part is the name of the song. It's called Creepy Nuts.
Well, that's the
That's the name
band.
of the song. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the band. Yeah,
Yeah.
Creepy Nuts.
Yeah, because they also did what was it? I think they did the Falling song for Call of the Night too.
Oh, did they?
Falling, falling, da 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 da
Yeah,
da da. Yeah,
yeah. I'll be happy when Call the Night comes back on.
I agree. I love like talk about an anime with vibes. That's like the
Yeah,
biggest
no,
vibe anime I've ever watched. Like that background animation and like just the feel of like the way they take their time, like to get from one scene to the other to like really take in the environment. I don't know. I love throwing that on at night, and I'm like, man, being an insomniac would be pretty cool, huh?
I need to catch up on the manga because I think Volume 15 came out a little bit ago, and I'm only on like 9,
Mm,
way behind.
gotcha. Well, so I think those are all the ones that I watched and dropped.
The
Uh,
same ones for me. The only other one I can think of is I didn't drop it. I just became uninterested in it, and I will finish it. Is the Undead Unwanted Adventurer?
okay. Oh, there's one like that for
Yeah,
me too. Delicious in Dungeon. I'm like 5
yeah.
episodes into that. I'll probably finish it. I just haven't yet.
And then I think the last one, again, I didn't drop it. I just got busy and never finished it. Was Ashura
Hmm.
on Hulu,
Didn't watch
which
that one.
had a killer first episode. And then the second episode, it just introduced like 12 more characters, and it got confusing for me.
Ah, okay.
So,
Well, just going through the my anime list here, the top added anime in 2024, non-continuing, so new ones. Solo Leveling, of course, was number one. Classroom of the Elite 3 was number two. Marshall was three. Delicious in Dungeon was four, and then Yubi Saki to Rinrin, A Sign of Affection, was fifth. So those are the top five.
gotcha.
Which actually, I talked to Morgan today, and he said he liked A Sign of Affection. He thought it was good.
Yeah, well, Morgan likes a lot of weird shit. So,
That's true. Oh, another one I watched again. I season of the dropped anime, Change Soldier. Watched like 5 episodes
um,
and dropped it. It's just the
I,
animation's
I watched
wonky.
all of that.
Did you?
Yeah, well, I like the manga.
Okay. Yeah, you just like that
So,
culture is what you like.
you know, uh, I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue.
I might eventually if I get the itch for some etchy, I'll let that be the one that scratches it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, all the good ones are cellophane wraps when you buy them.
That's true.
And Chain Soldier is the first one I've ever bought that was double wrapped. So take that as you will.
I understand why.
Dude,
Oh man.
the
Well,
main character is the epitome of spit in my mouth.
oh dude. And I like how it's like, gross, you like this stuff? And he's like, I guess I didn't know I liked it, but I guess I do.
Yeah, she does it, and then she's like, "You're disgusting for liking it, but I want to keep my human happy."
Mm-hmm.
And he just
She's like stepping on
oh,
his face.
dude, the manga is so because he like has to clean the base, and the one is always like, "Go down there and sweep this," and he goes down there, and it's like the bathhouse,
Of
and
course.
people are in the bath, and he's like, I can't see this." He turns around, and the one that told him to go sweep will be like, "Ew, you pervert! You're down here in the bathhouse," and like get him in trouble. Like it's always some shit like that.
Always.
It's not very good, but it is funny.
It is not very good for sure. Would not recommend, but if you really like culture, then maybe that's the one for you. So I mean, since I dropped so many of them, I'll just rank my top three. Pretty easy to do. Free run A1 for sure. Solo leveling 2 and um Shangri-La Frontier 3.
Yeah, I would have the same exact list actually.
I think those are just the best three last season. Like, there's a lot of pretty average stuff, but those are the only three that really stood out, in my opinion.
Yeah, this once let's bridge out of last season into this season.
Let's do it.
Uh, Not a whole lot of stuff I was super interested in. I made a list I posted, and I think it was 56 anime this season. Like it was a ton.
There's a lot. Uh,
So, but before we get into this current season,
okay.
let's get into what we are most excited about this season.
Oh, like which
So,
anime we want to watch the most?
yeah, Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, for sure. Uh,
Kaiju number 8 is my most anticipated anime
by far,
of this season.
by
Yeah,
far.
oh yeah, it's what I've been waiting for them to announce an anime, then announce a date, and now that it's airing, pure bliss.
Well, I think we agree on this too. I think it's the best currently running manga right now. I just think it's so damn good. And I
So
and
the
I
only
love
thing I have,
yeah, go ahead.
go no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love Chainsaw Man a lot too, but I think Kaiju number eight's slightly better.
I think they're a little different in genre.
They
Chainsaw
are.
Man's obviously a little darker. But Kaiju number 8, it's just it always ends on such a cliffhanger. And I don't read weekly; I read physical volumes.
Same.
So it's like once it drops 3 months later, I'm like, what the fuck happened at the end of the last book? Why the fuck is this person captured? Why can't he fucking transform anymore? I don't remember this shit. And so the first 10 pages I go into the new volume just blind because I don't remember what the fuck happened.
Yeah, I get that. I understand. But still yet, I think it's the best. And I think it's gonna be the most hype anime of this season, despite some of the other ongoing like second, third seasons, whatever of other anime. I think this is gonna be the hype beast for sure. I think people are gonna fall in love with it just like we did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the best part about the manga is it's a good mix of action, good storytelling. It's got interesting characters. It's got a lot of uninteresting characters, but the ones that are interesting are very interesting. And it's got a super obscure, interesting, nothing known about villain still.
Yeah, still.
Like we're on volume 11 to be dropping soon, and we don't know jack shit about the enemy still, really,
Yeah, we for real.
other
Uh
than he's some sort of kaiju.
Kaiji number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um man, like production IG's doing the animation for this, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but the animation is super crispy. Well, the first episode is out. It came out today. We're recording this on the 13th, and I watched it. You watched it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
It ends basically when the first book ends.
yeah. As soon as he becomes the kaiju,
Kaiju. Yep.
yeah, in the hospital bed.
Which is not a
Uh,
spoiler because it's in the trailer.
it's in the trailer. Yeah. Let me ask you this: when you started your episode, was it in English? Was it in dub or sub?
It was in English, and I had to switch it manually.
I was about halfway through the episode before I realized that it was in dub, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going with it." I was like, "It's simulcasting in dub."
Yeah, I know that's
Like
surprising.
even simulcast, it's usually a week at least before you get English dub. And I actually looked at the list, dude. I don't know if you've noticed like the amount of advertisement Crunchyroll has put into this. This is the first anime Crunchyroll has had a countdown on.
I know. I saw that
They've had a countdown. They've had the main page has been the trailer for the show
for like
for at
3 weeks.
least like 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen Crunchyroll do this. And when I went and looked at the settings, because I was like, oh, does it not have a sub version or something? It already has like 16 different
Like,
languages you can
yeah,
watch
all
it
the
in.
languages. Crazy.
Yes, a
So,
crazy amount. Yeah, I was very surprised because there's a lot of shows like shit you turn on Attack on Titan. It's some of them are just still English and even English and sub.
Well, I mean, Freerun even it's not even caught up on dubbed yet.
No, the last episode for Freerun hasn't got a dub yet. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be very hype, and I think people are gonna jump on this like they did with Chainsaw Man and ride that wave, bro.
Yeah, like like I talked to you about earlier, the art's very good. Characters are good. The fight sequences are good. And I talked to you about this earlier too. It's very funny because there's points where like it's a very obscure 1 second scene. Like it shows the inside of this helicopter, and the whole dash panel is very done. It looks great, but then it shows like a background of characters,
That's just a
and they all
goofy
have like
face.
the face of like Shin-Chan,
Yeah.
and they're just like very dumb child faces. It's hilarious to me the first time I saw it.
Yeah, but
Um,
well, who cares if they animated those beasts and like the blood and guts and everything. I love how they blurred out the intestines like they did in the manga too. I thought that was a nice
well,
little
it
touch.
wasn't the intestines; it was the shit. They blurred out the
Right,
shit.
right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. And then he cut into it, and it blurred everywhere all on the screen.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Episode 2 is gonna have what I think is like the funniest thing I've ever read in a manga. I don't want to spoil it for people, but you know the one when he has to pee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where it comes out of.
Yeah, very funny. Um, uh,
Yeah, I
there's
forgot about that.
there's a couple other anime that already dropped. I plan to watch. I know you watched Windbreaker already. I haven't started it yet, but I plan to.
So there, out of everything that dropped this season, there were a lot of shows that were season twos and season threes of shows.
There were a lot.
Uh, a lot. I mean, probably 35, 40. Um, there were a few new shows. And so I started Kaiju number 8 was the fourth one.
Hmm.
I started The Bartender, Glass of God.
I did too.
I, I started Windbreaker, and I started Fable, the Fable. Um, so the Fable is actually a manga I've read, and it's about an assassin that works for the Yakuza that has killed a bunch of people over the year. So the boss is like, "Hey, I need you to lay low for like a year. Only rule is you can't kill anybody." And this guy is just such an excellent killer that it's hard for him. But it's funny. It's really good. I'm liking the show. Uh, Windbreaker, just a delinquent anime. It's based on the manga. Um, a school of kids that fight, protect a neighborhood. It's Tokyo Revengers without the time travel
Okay,
and the
cool.
crying Takamichi main character. It's really funny. The only thing is that the main character has like I'm assuming he's supposed to have a birthmark because half of his hair is a different color, and
Yeah.
he doesn't dye it. He's born that way. Um, he's like so used to being shit on and everyone disliking him because of how he looks that he doesn't know how to accept like thanks and stuff. So like he saves these people in this neighborhood, and they're like, "Thank you," and he just goes like, "I didn't save you or anything. I just don't like lames. Like that's why I beat the shit out of those 12 people." And it's very funny. Glass of the God. So that's actually a sequel to a show called Bartender, based on the same main character. And it talks about in the first episode. You said you watched it. They
I
mentioned
watched the
like this
first
guy
episode,
won.
yeah.
They're like this guy won an award back in Europe. That's the first season.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that's the first show, the prequel show.
Huh.
So I watched the first season and I was like, this is super interesting. It's like a normal show about a bartender. This is like as close to a, you know,
Slice of
a,
life.
a slice of life I'll ever watch. And I went to watch the second episode, got about 5 minutes into it, and he's making drinks, and I just went, who the fuck am I fooling? I don't give a fuck about this. And I turned it back off, and I was like, I don't want to watch that shit. He's just making drinks. What the fuck? Like, I don't care about that. Doesn't interest me. Who am I fooling? And I didn't finish the second episode.
Oh. I liked it. I liked episode 1. So,
I liked episode 1 too. I don't know what happened. It was like a light flick. And I just thought, I don't get what the fuck do I want to watch a show about a guy who makes drinks?
Well, I haven't watched a Slice of Life in a while, so I need
That's
to.
just
Yeah.
not my cup of tea.
There's an anime I really want to watch called. It's from Toei Animation called Girls Band Cry, but it's not streaming anywhere.
Well, where's it released at?
What do you mean?
Like, where is it being viewed in Japan?
I don't know. It just says Toei, and when I look at it, it just shows that it's not streaming anywhere. So
Well, maybe it's just not simulcasting yet.
maybe,
So you just have to wait till it airs on Crunchyroll or something.
yeah.
Or did you check High Dive?
Yeah, it's not there. I don't know.
Because High Dive has been getting like Eminence in the Shadow,
Mm-hmm.
Undead Unluck,
Oh,
Chain Soldiers,
I didn't know they got
Soldier.
Undead Unluck.
Yeah, Hulu also got the rights to it too, I think,
Yeah,
or
that's where I was watching it. Yeah,
Disney technically, I guess.
yeah,
But Call of the Night, High Dive, they've gotten all those.
yeah. They've got a decent library now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They've got a lot of OVAs on there.
yeah, they definitely do. So you mentioned this before. It's definitely the season of continuating animes, like season 2, season 3, and My Heroes season 7. So the most added right now on my anime list is Konosuba, uh, season 3, Demon Slayer, which we're both excited for sure.
Uh-huh.
Drops May 12th, so can't wait for that. That time I got in, the time I got reincarnated as the slime, season 3. Mashoku Tensei, season 2, part 2, and then My Hero season 7. Those are the tops, and then Kaiju number 8 comes in at 6th. So, but I don't know. I plan, of course, to watch. I'll just go through the ones I plan to watch real quick. It's not that long of a list, honestly. So, Demon Slayer, My Hero, Kaiju number 8, which I am watching, Windbreaker. Um, I think that's Bartender, Glass of God, and if Girls Band Cry ever gets picked up, I'll plan to watch that too. So those are the ones I plan to watch.
Pretty solid list.
What about you?
Demon Slayer, Kaiju number 8. I'll keep watching the Fable right now. Windbreaker it has my interest still. Um, I think that's it.
Yeah, I just thought of something
I
we
don't
should
know.
do. We should pick a random anime, a new anime every season, and watch it and decide to watch it together, and then tell even no matter how bad it is, we'll finish it.
All
And
right. Well, we'll have to pick one that's the first season.
I know that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, because I'm like not gonna catch up 2 seasons to watch the third season of this show.
um,
What's the list?
of season ones.
Yeah, we'll pick one right now.
Okay. Um, Kaiju number 8 doesn't count. Windbreaker doesn't count because we're both watching that one. The Spice and Wolf remake.
I've already started that.
Okay. Um,
Here, let me look at my list.
and Archdemon's Dilemma: How to Love Your Elf Bride.
Oh, Go Loser Ranger.
Oh yeah, I did start that as well. I watched episode 1. Uh,
Yeah. All right, I've got the show.
okay.
Grandpa and Grandma turn young again.
Oh god. Actually, you know what? I saw some decent reviews about that, so why not?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let me add it to my
Oh,
list right
do I?
now.
Watch it be 28 episodes.
Probably.
All right, I'll catch up with it tonight. I'm sure the second episode. How about now?
All right, I'll watch it this weekend too. So patiently wait our review of that one. Uh,
They just all the time. They's fucking. They got young again. They's fucking.
what? Why is Go Go Loser Ranger not like on here? Oh, it is. Okay.
I don't know.
It's just pretty far
No,
down.
I watched the show, and the first episode was kind of funny. I picked up the manga, and I picked up volume 1 and 2 at the same time a while back. I mean, probably 8, 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And I disliked volume 1 so much that I took volume 2 back and returned it.
Wow.
Never even opened it.
Volume or episode 1 was interesting. It was funny. I'm not sure. It seems like one of the animes that I'll probably end up dropping, but I am interested. It's got my attention right now.
It didn't keep me interested. I'm not a huge Power Rangers fan to begin with.
Okay, fair.
So like it didn't have that effect on me. But that's essentially what it is. It's the Power Rangers meets the boys. All the Power Rangers are actually dickheads.
Okay.
And they fought these alien invaders like 7 years prior, but and they beat them, and now they've have them like captured, and they make them fight every Sunday under the premise that like no one else knows that they're captured. They think they just keep trying to invade every Sunday at the same time.
Right.
And I was like, that's such a stupid. Like nobody's caught on to the fact that they invade every fucking Sunday at the same arena
Listen, man, there's
at the
people that
same
think
time.
wrestling is real, so
I couldn't stick with the manga. The show was kind of entertaining. I think it'll end up being something I turn on in the background.
yeah, it's probably same for me. The animation was pretty good, so I'll give them that. The tiger villain or whatever, that was pretty funny. He like turns into
Yeah.
a car. It was like a transformer essentially.
Well, those duster people can turn into any object.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll end up watching it. Well, I watched episode 1. While it keeps my interest, I'll watch it for sure, but yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty heavy season, honestly. Like there's a lot of good stuff this season, so
Yeah.
should be fun. Should be a good one. I think
Yeah.
fall's usually the most heavy hitting season, but I don't. It's gonna be hard pressed to beat this one when you've got Demon Slayer and My Hero and Kaiju number 8. Those are really big ones.
Mhm. Well, coming out of the shows for the season, what manga are you currently reading?
So I actually went back and read some stuff. I need to. I never finished Fire Punch, so I'm trying to finish that.
Never started it.
Gotcha. I mean, it's Tatsuki Fujimoto, Chainsaw Man guy. Um, it's the same kind of feel as Chainsaw Man. It's a little more dark, a little more heavy.
Yeah.
Um, a lot more ridiculous somehow. Um, but it's good. I just like reading his work. Like I just like him. And then what else have I read? Well, of course I've been reading Kaiju and Chainsaw Man as they come out, but we still have like a month for Chainsaw Man and then like a month and a half for Kaiju, is that right?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So patiently waiting for those. And man, I just have to look over at my shelf and see what I've been reading. Oh, Solo Leveling, which I need to pick up issue 5. So,
Uh huh.
yeah, too good, too good.
I'm reading too much manga because so I have a list. I have stuff I read current, but also at the same time I try to pick something that's old and done and try to read that and catch up on it.
Okay.
Like I just finished Gaunt's a few weeks ago,
Huh.
which is really good. It was 37 volumes, one of the best series I've ever read. Um,
Some high praise.
so fucking good, dude. Currently, right now, I am reading through Claymore,
Oh, wow.
which is really good. I'm on like volume 22 of 27, so I'm almost done with that. When I finish with that, I'm going to read through Berserk.
Actually, let me know when you start Berserk because I've been wanting to for a long time. Let's try to read it at the same time.
Okay, yeah. But as far as like what I'm currently that's like new that I'm reading, uh, let me look at my list. So just like kind of in alphabetical order, Black Clover, Blue Wolves of Mabu is really good. Call of the Night, Chainsaw Man, Dead Company, Freerin.
What's Dead Company about?
uh, Dead Company is like a battle royale, and it's about this. It's kind of like battle royale meets Saw. So it's this
Oh,
guy that works for a video game company, and he's developing like a not a battle royale, more like a uh, um, more like ready. Like what was that? What was that show? Squid Game.
Squid Game. Okay.
He's making a game kind of like that. Mix it with Among Us. So it's a bunch of people
Okay.
and like in the game, it's townspeople and there's a witch. Well, he doesn't find out later that like the game is real and people are being kidnapped, placed in these scenarios. So when people are online playing as these characters and they vote to kill this person as the witch,
Yeah.
one of the people in the games really dies. And
Hmm.
he works for the game. He works for the game company. So it's okay. It's not the best thing I've ever read, but it is interesting. Kaiju number 8.
Of
I'm
course.
currently reading that. Sakamoto Days, Shangri-La Frontier, Solo Leveling, and then the Under Ninja, um, Tree of Death by Yoma Suguchi.
Hmm.
That's where like the guy is a Shinigami.
Ooh.
It's okay. It's not the best thing. And then Zom 100.
Nice. It's a good list,
So
man.
well, it's just enough to where like I can pick up something new every other week at least. Because
Yeah,
I got super tired of like being like I've got nothing new coming out for 2.5 months.
I understand that. Yeah, once you get caught up, it sucks waiting forever.
Yeah.
Um, I did read Crazy Food Truck issues 1 and 2 between the last time we did our recording, and it's so funny because you mentioned you had no desire to pick up 3, and I see it every time I go to the store, and I'm like, maybe I will, and I just never do.
It's just I don't know, dude. And it's only 3 volumes.
I
Like I can
know.
read the last volume and finish it, and I just don't care.
I'm the same way. I don't care to finish it. Like it's fine. It's a cool, fun little concept. We already met the creators or whatever, and it's of her, and it's just like, why do I care about this anymore? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I,
So my
I couldn't.
dumb dog.
It's all good.
But maybe I'll eventually finish that. Something you mentioned, by the way, or something that I thought of while you were talking about all those. I forgot. I failed to mention that I am watching Sandland as well, which it's an ONA that came out on Hulu, and like a bunch of
Uh-huh.
episodes just kind of dropped all at once. And I didn't even
Well,
know it was
they dropped the whole show.
right. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that it was even like supposed to be coming out or anything like that. It's on Hulu/Disney Plus. I watched the first like 3 episodes. I'm loving it. I loved the manga growing up. I used to read it in Shonen Jump Weekly.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see. But I didn't want to start the show with it because it would have brought the whole show down. But yeah. So Akira Toriyama, obviously, he passed away. What was it? Last month at this point.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah, and it happened like right whenever LexCon was happening, Lexington Comic and Toy Con,
Uh-huh.
and everyone was wearing Dragon Ball Z shirts and like Dragon Ball stuff, and like, man, that the feel of the con was like down because everyone was just so bummed out whenever he passed, and I'd be
How
remiss if I
many?
didn't mention it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll always say it. I think in the last couple generations, there's been 4 great introduction animes for people to get into anime, and it was Dragon Ball, then like Naruto slash Bleach
Mm-hmm.
slash One Piece, then Attack on Titan, and then Demon Slayer. Like those are the different generational intros into anime. I think.
For sure,
I mean,
Sailor
I
Moon
can't think of too many.
probably, but yeah.
Sailor Moon, that was the same time as Dragon Ball though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there were obviously shows in between, like Sword Art was a huge introductory,
It
but
was.
it's so close to when that was in between Attack on Titan and Naruto. So it's just A lot of people, and Dragon Ball is so globally known.
It is.
I work with a lot of guys that are just now coming to America, and we'll talk about anime, and I'm like, "What anime you like?" Dragon Ball Z. They love Dragon Ball Z, and I mean
Yeah,
it's so globally known.
I loved all the memorials that they were having globally for Akira Toriyama, like the big murals that were going up everywhere. They had a public spirit bomb offering at, I forget where it was, but I think it was somewhere in South America. Um,
I mean, they added that scene into Soul Leveling
yeah, yeah, right,
where he does the he does a little bounce jump
yep.
to warm up. Just a lot of respect. All the mangakas came out and were like, he was a huge influence. I
He's my
wouldn't have kept,
hero. I wouldn't be doing what I was doing today if it weren't for him. Yeah.
yeah. So definitely a huge loss there.
Yeah, man. That one, we talked about this on our trip, but that's probably I wouldn't even call him a celebrity because like he wasn't really ever in the spotlight himself, but
He hadn't been seen in public in like 11
I
years.
know. But the biggest like named person death for me, like that one hit me the hardest for sure. Like I cried, man. I cried.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just tough. It's, he's the goat. The best thing I saw, the best tweet I saw about it was this guy was talking about how he told his girlfriend that he liked anime, and she told his parents, and his parents literally looked up cool anime shirt to get him something for Christmas, and it was a Dragon Ball Z shirt. That's like what the first thing that popped up. They picked the coolest one, the coolest looking one, and they picked a Dragon Ball Z shirt. And it's like, yep, that pretty much says it. Like he made anime cool, man. He did.
for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
Ah, just sucks. Um, we have Dragon Ball Z. What is it? Or Dragon Ball? What's it called? The baby one that's supposed to come out this year.
Mhm.
No. The baby one where it's like Goku's a little
Oh,
kid again. It
I
starts
don't
with a
know.
D. I
I
want to
mean,
say
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
Daima. I think Dragon Ball Daima.
Maybe.
Uh,
Sounds
and then Sandland that came out, and it's just like he had his hands tied to so many like future projects. And his son was a big. His son was actually helping with like some of the writing and stuff for him. So maybe he'll continue his legacy, but I don't know.
We'll have to see.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, I need to complete Sandland. I really like it. It's cell shaded, which honestly makes so much sense if you've ever read the manga. Like it just fits. Um, I highly recommend. It's an ONA, so it didn't air anywhere. It just went straight to Hulu
Hmm.
/ Disney Plus.
Yeah,
So
I've been meaning to check it out. I've actually got uh, volume one of Sandland.
nice,
Yeah, it's like the original '93 printing.
nice. You should read it, man. It's really really good.
Wait, is it only one volume?
No,
Oh, I feel like when I added it to my CLZ, like only volume one was the only thing to add.
at least I don't think so. I mean, I read it weekly for a while, so
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, that was before
What?
I read trades, so I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you read it weekly, it would have just been chapters.
Right.
So, I mean, you could have read it for 5 weeks and still been volume one.
That's very true. Very true. Well, I think we covered pretty much everything. What we plan to watch, what we did watch, what we're excited for. Kaiju number 8, obviously the biggest one for us. It's like our baby,
Hmm.
man. It's cool seeing it come to the screen. We've been hyping this shit up for a long time,
Yeah.
for good reason.
Hmm. Well, we'll check back in a few months and have some updates for what we've watched currently and what we're going to watch, and then talk about some more about what we're going to watch again.
Including that grandpa anime, grandma and grandpa
Oh,
anime.
yeah, yeah, I forgot we agreed we'd watch that already.
Yeah.
All right, well, check back in for episode 3 to hear about what Grandpa and Grandma do when they get young again.
All right, thanks for stopping by, everyone. We'll see you next time.